Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John and this video is going to be what I call the evolution of 88 films. So the other day I was looking at my shelves and I thought, where am I going to put certain things when I get to shelf 2? Is some of the 88 going to go over there? Is the arrow going to stay over here? I'm going to put 4Ks over there. So when I was doing that, I sort of had a bit of a look through my 88 collection as to see where it would look best on what different shelves. And when I picked them up, I started to realise that from early beginnings, 88 films have really progressed into a label that are releasing some fantastic editions. When I picked up my first 88 films releasing around about 2014, I had no idea where this company was going to go. And I remember I shot a video in my first month when I started YouTube about my top 10 boutique labels. So I went and looked at it actually, and 88 films were number one, but they were just number one over Arrow. So Arrow were always number one when it came to cult movies. And I thought no one could touch them when they first started bringing their stuff out. I used to buy their stuff. Every film that came out would have bought an Arrow film. It's not the same these days. I've got to admit I'm very choosy when it comes to picking Arrow stuff because I do feel a lot of their stuff is just stuff I wouldn't really want, which is fair enough. It's not for everybody, but the stuff that I really like, which is sort of low budget exploitation movies and banned video nasties and sort of horror films, a bit under the radar. Before I get into the 88 films, I'm just going to take you quickly through Arrow. Now, Arrow started in humble beginnings, like I think everybody who started out in this sort of journey with boutique labels do start from humble beginnings. And the earliest thing I've got from an Arrow release is the DVD of the masterpiece, Faster Pussycat Kill Kill. Now, this would look spectacular on Blu-ray even, and even on 4K, dare I say it. I would love to get this on 4K. This movie is an absolute gem. This presentation actually is really good. It's got a lot of special features on here, and you could tell Arrow were starting to do something which was a little bit different. So this DVD was released in 2005, and here we are. We come full circle to modern day, where this is the type of thing that Arrow are releasing now. You'll be very familiar with their box sets. They are now in the 4K realm. They're doing a great job in there, I've got to admit, and this looks spectacular. But the presentation to come from this to that shows you what plans Arrow have, and they have released some spectacular box sets over the years. So I'm not taking anything away from Arrow in this, but I just think that 88 have released for me the more films that I would like to watch. So 88 Films, the company started in 2012, and I think this is my first ever release that I bought from 88 Films, and it is The Last Horror Film. Now, this is a great movie, and it's also one of those movies that was it was never a banned video nasty, but it was always treated as one because it was very hard to get. It was kind of lumped in with them. It was one of those ones that was released on Intervision, I think, and when it was brought out, it kind of disappeared with the rest of them, and it became one of those ones to buy the Intervision VHS cost a fortune. So to see this one on a really good presentation, actually, I thought, right, I'm going to get that. Didn't really take too much notice of that. It kind of didn't really resonate with me that this company was going to be a company. It was very much under the radar when this got released. It was just one of them things where you thought, well, I'll have to get this movie. So that was my first introduction to them. I bought that in about 2014. And on the back of that, they released this one as well, The Toxic Avenger. Now, they ramped it up a little bit. They put it in a green case, which I thought was great. And also they've got a poster in here, and they've got a slipcover and special features. Now it seems as if this is a conjunction with Trauma Films, as well as Last Horror Film was in conjunction with Trauma Films. So I thought maybe they're just a label that are a bit of an offshoot of Trauma movies, and they were going to release their stuff in the UK. I didn't take too much attention to it. I do know that this was long before I thought that 88 Films was a thing, but I really liked this version, and of course I like to get it uncut as well, because this film is quite nasty actually. I know it's a comedy, but it's got some nasty themes in it, and it was also always a movie that was highly cut in the UK. So to see this out in UK uncut, I thought I'll have to get that one. So next up I got, which I think is around about the same time, a movie called The Dead Next Door. Now this is quite a good movie, but it's really, really low budget. I mean, you can't imagine how low the budget is in this movie. It's got some great special features actually. So, and then of course I was starting to notice, there's that 88 Films again. And it's a gorgeous slipcase, and this is before I really kind of was into slipcases. I just got them if they were there. If they didn't have them, I wasn't that bothered with them. Of course, times have changed since then. I think with the advent of me watching people unboxing stuff and sort of showing off slipcases and talking too much about slipcases, I think I'm going to start to try and get these slipcases if I can. So that's a great movie, but it shows you this movie is really ultra low budget. And you thought, so this company might not be picking up the ones that you think are the ones that everyone goes for. So I thought this company might be a company that might take a few chances. They might not be the ones that go for their usual suspects and release the sort of big titles. Although they have released a few big titles over the years. These ones, if they're prepared to release a movie like this, which is a movie that could have basically tanked when they tried to sell it, maybe nobody would want it. You know, it was kudos to them. So they started to come up on my radar a little bit. I don't think in HMV or anywhere they had any sort of stand for these at all. They were just here, there and everywhere, mainly in the horror section. So they're not as if they like to have now. They've got their own dedicated space, quite rightly. But that was when I thought, yeah, this is one that I didn't think I would look out for that label, but I wasn't surprised when I picked up some good stuff and it was actually an 88 film title. So then fast forward a year to 2015, and I remember I was in HMV and I saw this title, Graduation Day, on the Slasher Classics Collection #1 from 1981. And I thought, this is going to be a new line, hopefully. And if it's got these type of movies here, which is movies that I'm very much interested in, I thought maybe I'll start collecting these ones if there's going to be a few more good ones coming out. And of course, who was releasing it? It was 88 Films. Now at this point, it sort of hit home that I thought maybe this is a company that's going to not rival Arrow. I didn't have any inclination it would go and do that. I just thought this might be a company I might want to watch out for, because if they're going to do this line, or they're going to do anything else. So this line's been a steady line. I don't think they've released that much recently. The movies that have released out of them, there's 49 that have released. This is the latest one that they've released. This is Blind Date, spine number 49. They do put slipcovers on it. Now I do like the slipcovers actually on the shelves don't stand out that much from the actual ones without slipcovers. So to be honest, not like some other ones which will have a white one or a black one or a yellow one. These ones are very uniform, so if you're missing a slipcover, the fact is you can actually, it doesn't really matter that much, which is great actually, because some of these ones are really hard to get with a slipcover. And if you miss out, it's not so much of a bad thing. You're not really going to the second-hand market for it. So this, like I say, this is #1, this is number 49, so there's 49 titles in this range. But I do know that when this came out, I thought this is really something to watch. I'm really impressed by what they're doing here. I'm really impressed by the fact that they're going to these really low-budget cult classics, splatter VHS, banned video nasties. To be go into that, there's a few banned video nasties in the slasher collection. So that was another thing where I thought, wow, they're getting some of these uncut, which is ones that you never really heard of, to be released in the UK. So that was another thing that got me interested in this, because there's a lot of people who tried to release a few of these video nasties back in the day and they failed miserably. And you've got to give credit to 88, because sometimes they did try and get through some really extreme banned video nasties. More about that later. So yes, so the slasher collection was a really welcome addition to my collection. So at the same time they released this range as well, the Italian collection. Now this is Anthropophagus the Beast. This is a former banned video nasty, and this is music to my ears when these movies start to come out. I just love this film as well. And as you can see, I collect them all. And these came out and they were releasing like great movie after great movie, band after band after band. There's some slight cuts to some of them, mainly to do with animal cruelty. And they said when they released them, they said there's no way we can get around this. And I don't really mind that, if I'm honest. When they've cut the video, they cut the animal cruelty out, you can't really tell it was there anyway. And I don't think that'll ever get through, so that's just the way it is. Then 88 Films got a little bit more ambitious. Now what they did was, they found out that they could get, with crowdfunding, they could start to remaster these movies again, and they asked people if they'd like to put into it. Now there's a channel called Double Mill Movies. I'm going to leave a link down to his channel down below. Now Trevor is one of the people who put into this this crowdfunding scheme and got a few films released, or better, masters of films. So this movie here got remastered, and big thanks to people like Trevor Eris to get that done for collectors. Now these came out again. Now this version here has got this 42nd Street documentary on, which is great. You'll see it on the back there. So if you want to get the version of this film, check out and see what's on the back, because you may get this this documentary, which isn't featured on the re-release. Now this is a 2K scan of the original negatives with a new slip on it. Now this is 88 getting into these soft touch slips, which are just absolutely brilliant. So it shows that 88 were trying to improve their stuff all the time. Now the fact is they can put this in with this cover, and also they had the Band Video Nasty cover. So also they had a Band Video Nasty slipcase, which had this cover on as well, the original Band Video Nasty, which I love that type of thing. That's if I could get every Video Nasty with their original cover on as a slipcover, that would be amazing. If you could imagine getting that in a run and putting it on your shelves. So it shows you that 88 were trying to like cater to the fans as well. They knew what I think they are fans of the movie, the two guys that own it. So they're probably thinking what they would like to see on a release, because they're movie fans as well. So putting things like this on covers is just excellent. So the next thing that seemed to change with 88 films is when they were doing the Italian collection. They're releasing all these movies, and I just like the fact that they all look the same. They started to put slipcovers on it. Now the slipcovers there's no slipcovers on these ones. There's sporadic slipcovers in here, which I won't go for. Now the earliest slipcover I got is that one, which is Amazonia, I think it's called, and then they've done slipcovers after that. But the first one released on the slipcover form was Eyeball. Now this, when it came out, I thought, wow, what they're doing this for, because it doesn't fit in with the other ones. Now if you take the disc out, although I've got the alternative art in here, you can put that with that cover on there, but you have to lose the slip. And so I thought, right, if that's the way they're going, I will collect them with the slips now, and I do collect them with the slips until it changed. More about that in a minute. But this is a spectacular one. What they've done is actually they've started to put things like posters and art cards and make this just a really good special edition. And they're starting to, all the ones now seem to have 2K and maybe even 4K scans of the movies. So all the movies do look spectacular. That's one thing I can say about 88 films. That when they release something, you know that you'll probably see the best version of that movie. And of course, this one here was the sort of, that's the way they were going for all these ones here. This is spine number 45. This is the first one they did that with, and they went and sorted a few ones back of that, and then they've actually progressed with that. Now when they did that, strangely enough, in the middle of that, they released this one as well, which is the Killer Crocodile double pack. And you've got your movies in there, but you've also got this amazing box. I don't know particularly why they did this. It doesn't really go with the other ones. It kind of sticks out a bit like a sore thumb, but I don't really mind, because this set is like absolutely amazing. The movies itself are absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen them, you have got to see these. They're just basically Jaws with a crocodile, and they do really steal the Jaws story. But that's another thing I really like about 88. They'll put the barcode on the bottom, so you haven't got the barcode on the box. So the box will show off the artwork. Of course, I would love them to come off, but never mind. This was the first time I ever saw them making a big box set of anything. So then the Italian collection changed again to this. This was the first release in the Italian collection that was this sort of deluxe version. This is a spectacular looking cover. The movie itself isn't the best of movies, but I can get away with that. There's a lot of these things that I don't mind about, the fact that I know I'm getting a low budget sort of trash fest, but I don't mind them type of films. This one, it really isn't the best film, because some of these movies, when they're low budget, you can get a real good blast out of it. This is really quite laughingly called Zombie 5, because really there's practically no zombies in it, or there's just birds in it. So the title Killing Birds does actually reflect on what it is. But I like the fact of how this looks. So this is spine number 68. The most recent one they released is spine number 69. It is Hatchet for the Honeymoon. This is the Mario Bava film. The artwork in there is spectacular. I do know I will collect these ones, because when they come out, they don't come out that often, which is great, so we can keep on top of it. So the Italian collection is now 69 titles in, from humble beginnings to a nice slipcover to a deluxe edition. So also when 88 films started, they did release a lot of 80s low budget cheese. This being one of them, Trances. Now this collection here, the Trances 1, Trances 2 and Trances 3. There is more Trances, but 88 have not released any of these ones for a long time. I don't think they'll release any more. I would love to see them do a box set a big box set of all the Trances films in one set, because you would get such a blast from them. Speaking of that, there is another line that 88 have done, and this is this line. It's, I don't know what you would call it, but they put these movies in, these 90s movies in this case, into this really good, spectacular box set with great art. The only thing about these sets is, for me personally, the Urban Legends one, I think I'll probably enjoy all of these, but there's other ones like Anaconda. I'll probably like the first film but not the other ones, and also there's other movies where I'm not too keen on getting the full set because I don't think I would like the whole lot. But that's not taking anything away from these movies or them trying to actually release these movies, and they do put, there's booklets in here, there's art cards, there's posters. This is a spectacular looking thing on the shelf as well. So that's another thing where they've got this attention to detail, which I really enjoy. This set here, you think this was Arrow usually have the bragging rights when it comes to this release, this type of release, but I think that 88 have got this nailed in, and I think when these put out together, I think the 3 or 4 that released, when you put them together, they look actually spectacular on the shelves. So that's a way that you can see that a thing like this, I would love in a box set like this. I think it would just be an amazing box set. I think a lot more people will get a lot more enjoyment out of them, even though they are ultra low budget kind of comedies in a way. I mean, you can't take any, they're a bit of a time travel thing. It's hard to explain, but such good movies, and I do know, I think there's about 6 of them now. And also I'd love to see them do it with the Puppet Master films as well. Imagine if they could get all the Puppet Masters or in 2 box sets and put all of them into one case. That would be absolutely brilliant. I would love to get that. In fact, that would be my highest one I would want to get, Trances second. So yeah, so they do these box sets, and that's a big step forward for me in this presentation. I was so amazed when I saw this, that 88 films are starting to break out into this realm. So there's another few collections that 88 have done, one being the Vault collection. Now I was really excited to get this one, and this movie is such a good movie. It's really, really low budget, but it's one of the ones that I want to see for a long time, fully uncut, and it does look actually quite good on here. And this is spine number 1, and I thought this is going to be a good line. The only thing is with this line, I don't really think that I like all the movies on there, so I haven't went deep into this line. I don't think this line has went anywhere apart from maybe, I think there might be 7 or 8. It hasn't really progressed. I think they might have tailed off from it. They might not be going to do this type of movie anymore. Sadly, I think this range might have run its course, which is a bit of a shame. I would have preferred them to release a few more movies that were a little bit like this. I think they have done, but they've also released a few that didn't seem to fit in with this this particular line. I think they should have kept them all ultra low budget, but not taking away from the fact that they did try. This is the thing I like about 88. At least they're trying some stuff. They're trying to go for things that maybe people aren't doing, which is all, I'm all about that. Bringing these movies back to life. This is one of the ones that was on me to buy list for a long time. Didn't know where to get it from, and when I seen it from 88, I thought, yeah, I'll be getting that one. So another line that they've done, which has been a lot more successful, is the Asia collection. Now the good thing about this is they're putting movies out here that I know I would like, but I haven't heard of them before. Hadn't heard of this one. This is spine number 1. I don't collect them all, because I have collected a few and not really like them, but there's a few in here that I think are absolute masterpieces. This is a great film as well, and I was hoping I would get the same feeling from the other ones I've watched, but some of them I have and some I haven't. I've let go. Black Magic was one that I wasn't really into, but there's other ones in here which are just absolutely amazing in this set, and I do think that these will keep on coming out for a long time, because they seem to be releasing a lot more of these. Recently they've kind of changed them a little bit, because they put them with slip covers on. You've got the chance to own a slip cover when they first come out, a lovely slip cover as well. And you've also got this, you can keep the spines on them as well. You've got this other spine, but you've also got the spine that fits in with these. So that's a good thing, that you don't have to feel when you've got a spine that just doesn't look like anything like else. It goes out of place, especially if you're trying to keep the numbers together. This is spine number 27. I don't know what spine they're up to, but I know that all these movies in here, they do look spectacular as well. It's another thing, like I say, all the lines they've put out have always looked absolutely amazing. So that's the Asia collection. Also 88 are releasing a lot of Jackie Chan movies. Now sometimes you get the chance to get them in a really good special edition, this being one of them. This is the Young Master special edition. The only thing I'll say about it is, it's just a shame that they can't put the clear cases in here. I know they've had a bit of problems with clear cases because of the pandemic. For some reason it's been hard to get these days. I think the clear cases make these releases just that little bit more special. So I will be probably buying a load of clear cases and just change them over. But this one here was actually given to me by my good friend Leon from Leon Talks Film. I'll leave a link down to his channel below. So Leon's come back after a couple of months away, and it's great to see him back making videos. And just want to say thank you once again for sending this to me as a subscriber mail. It's absolutely amazing. But this presentation is just absolutely incredible. So this shows you from the humble beginnings of when they used to release maybe a Jackie Chan film without a slipcover. Then they did put a slipcover on. Now you've got the chance to get this absolutely amazing, beautiful box set. It shows you their progression that they're having in the fact of what they feel that they need to present their stuff with. Also, they've got a line, the category 3 line, this being one of them, Robotrix. This is such a good movie and such a good release. But this special edition is just got to be seen to be believed. It's just one of those ones where you just, just even the feel of it is just spectacular. And these category 3 movies, to see them coming out as well, to see 88 maybe having a line and putting these movies out, which nobody else seems to have had any idea to put out in the UK. To see them doing that is another thing where you think this company is progressing in a way that I would never expected when I saw their original, the last horror film. I wouldn't have thought I would be talking about them in this circumstance. But it's so great to see a company progressing, because obviously they must be doing something right to be able to put stuff out like this. And as well, they keep them, to be honest, they keep the money down on these ones to about £25, which is about as much as you want to spend. I think sometimes Arrow can release ones of this nature and start to charge £35, £36 for it, which I think is a little bit over the top, to say the least. But the category 3 titles, I hope they release a lot more of these ones, because I had a great time with them. Another welcome addition to 88 Films is their covers. Now, back in the day, when you went to video library, you would see these garish covers and you would think, oh, I've got to get that. And then when the video nasties things happened, the covers were so tame after that. A lot of covers were not banned, but they were just ones, you wouldn't see certain things on a cover. So another big respect to 88 for pushing the boundaries back on the covers front as well. There's been some covers on them where you think, wow, I can't believe that's a cover, knowing full well what you could see back in the day or couldn't see back in the day, to see that these things are now actually things you can just see on the shelves. And some of them are fantastic artwork, but a bit of blood and guts on it, they don't mind showing that. So, and this is one of them. It's a former band video nasty, Evil Speak. And I mean, the cover's not that bad, but it's great to see that they don't just, they'll put their own cover on it, and they will they'll put you a bit of this, but if didn't have like knives on the cover before. So that's Evil Speak. Also as well, a great cover is this one, Blood-Sucking Freaks, which has nothing on the cover, which makes you think, I've got to see what's on that cover. Now, if you don't have the slip cover on, you'll be treated to this cover. So to have that actually available on the shelves is one of the ones where you think, what? They've got them type of things on the cover. But this movie here is just absolutely nuts. But this is another one that wasn't on the banned video nasties list, remarkably enough. I don't think it was released in the UK, but because I don't think it could have been. But it's another one where you think, what, they're releasing Blood-Sucking Freaks. And also this cover here, The Devil's Honey. This is obviously a new cover, and you would have never seen anything like this back in the day. This cover would have been, I think the cover in here is absolutely, 10 times worse than this cover. But yeah, so I just really like the fact that 88 Films will put stuff like this on a cover and show things that maybe it's, they know how bad these covers would have been treated back in the day. Maybe they're kind of pushing the boundaries a little bit to see what they could actually put in the cover. So there's another movie here called Pets. Now this is a thing where the cover immediately got me interested, because I hadn't really seen a cover like this before. This cover, I don't think has got anything to do with the film. I don't think it was like part of the film when it was produced. I think this is just a new cover they put on. The cover they've got inside is a really exploitational cover, which I love. This movie is a very exploitational movie as well, with zero budget. None of it makes sense. But the thing is, though, the fact is that they're putting these movies out which you've never ever heard of, and you think, I'll give it a shot. And sometimes you'll be very impressed by them. I was quite impressed by it. I was more impressed by the fact that this was just so low budget. I thought, who on earth would want to buy this one? Well, apart from me. And but I had a great time with it, and I like it for the fact that it is what it is. It looks low budget. It is low budget. It's one of those ones where somebody would, if somebody's walking along on their shelves and they see that, they pull it out and they think, what on earth is this film about? And I like things like that. You might have been disappointed. I think there was a lot of times back in the VHS days where you were disappointed when you went and saw this amazing cover and the movie was absolute rubbish, and I mean rubbish. So that's a big shout out to their covers. So lastly, getting back to Video Nasties, in their Italian collection range they released SS Experiment Camp Uncut, and I thought there's no way on earth that this would have got through when I heard it was going to be talked about, and they got it through. And the movie itself isn't that bad, if I'm honest. It's just got a really ridiculous storyline to it. I think it was mainly the cover that got this banned, the original cover, not this cover. So yeah, so they were pushing the boundaries with that one as well, because I thought a lot of these these Nazi war exploitation movies, they don't sit well with the censors at all because of what's in them. So the same being said, what they tried to do was to try to get Gestapo's Last Orgy released in the UK, and they fell flat in the face. They could not get this released. So what they did was they went to the US and released it. Now I do think that this is the first time that they've ever released in the US 88 movies. So what I'm thinking of is, in the future, if they do say try to get a movie released in the UK and they can't, they will go to the SS, they will go to the US and they will get it released there, and you'll get an uncut. This movie looks, it's not a great movie in what you see, it's a great looking movie, so they've done an amazing job. So say for instance there's ones like Love Cam 7 which will not get released in the US than the UK. They'll go to the US and try it over there, perhaps. So that's another thing that you think that we've got this American connection, they can now start to like bridge out a little bit. And speaking of bridging out, they are now going to release their first 4K, which of a movie called Drive, which is a great sort of futuristic kung fu movie in a way. It's about this bloke who has performance enhancing things that make him go faster than normal people. It's quite a good movie actually. I'm interested to see what our 88 do with a 4K actually, because they do that much good work with Blu-rays. You would think they could do a great job with a 4K as well, so it'd be very interesting to see what that comes out. So Drive's only £25 to pre-order. I think that's quite a decent price for it actually. And yes, so Gestapo's Last Orgy might be a way that they can go round the censors if they think that they can't get one released in the UK, which is absolutely brilliant. Because sometimes when you've got, I think it's shameless to release something that have to cut it or they can't do anything with it, I think. So now we've got a bit of a lifeline when it comes to Video Nasties. So to think that when they released these movies in 2014 that they would have come full circle and released this one just today actually, Night of the Demon. And they've managed to get in cahoots with Severin Films, and they are released this spectacular version of this movie that has long, in my estimation, been one that would never ever look good. They have done an amazing thing with 5.5 hours of extras. Actually, it's even got another film on here, believe it or not. It's got a very old film to do with the director, a previously unreleased 1964 feature produced by Jim L. Ball and shot by John Quick. Now that looks really poor, mate. It's in black and white, and it's got lots of dropouts, but just to get something as rare as that on a disc, I'm all for that. So this is why 88 Films has now become my favourite boutique label. They are releasing all the type of movies that I'd like to see, and sometimes I get introduced to movies that I would have never even heard about or known about. This is such a welcome addition, this movie here, because it looks so good, and I never thought it would ever look good. And if they're going to do things like this, and they've got uniformity with their movies as well, this is another one released, Delirium, put them together and they look spectacular. And I hope that they do a lot more of these movies, because there is quite a few banned Video Nasties that hasn't been put out yet. And these are two of the, well, they're not the biggest names, but they're two of the most notorious names for how hard they are to get, and also how bad they looked. But 88 have done a spectacular thing with this one. Also, they've done quite a good version with this movie, which is such a solid movie. I love this movie. So I hope you've liked this journey through my 88 films collection. And let me know what you think. Do you think that some of the lines that they had, like the Vault collection, should have progressed? Or do you think that some of the lines should come to a halt, like the Slasher collection? Should they just stop that? Let us know what you think. Do you think that 88 are better than Arrow? Because for me they are. And I think that's mainly down to the fact of what 88 are releasing now. The films are releasing is just really up my alley. as opposed to Arrow are sometimes there. For me, 88 are the boutique label that are releasing the best movies that I want to see, or want to own as well. Arrow used to do that. I don't think they do that so much now. I would say 50% of their stuff I'm not really interested in. That's fair enough, they can branch out and do other things, but I think that 88 have released the ones that are like kept true to their original vision. So, thanks for watching. You take care, and I will see you on the next video. Cheers.